Hi everyone, welcome back to Resin Rainbows. We're going to do something a little bit different again today. I don't know, some people probably have never heard of Beads of Courage, but the Beads of Courage is a nonprofit that gives beads out to sick kids. Most people think that it's just cancer kids. It is not. It is all kids that are that have illnesses that are ongoing. My son, for instance, has epilepsy. And so Beads of Courage gives out different beads for those, and I'll show you those here in a minute. I actually have some that I need to string, but I kind of don't want to string them. So that's what our project will be about today. There is also another program called Beads of Hope, which is what the hospital that we are at now does. Same concept, slightly different beads. I love both programs. We utilize both programs. When we're inpatient and I remember to get his beads, then I will get the Beads of Hope. Once we get home, if I forget to get his beads while we're inpatient, then I will send away to Beads of Courage and get those beads. So we have a mix in here. I actually bought this container a couple of years ago. It was handmade, and I believe the card's in here, so I will dig that out. But it's a nice, beautiful container to hold his beads. I love it. It's beautiful. I'm going to use it in my son's room, but I don't think I want it to hold his beads because you can't see them. So we're going to take, and it's getting pretty full, as you can see. Anyway, here, these are the beads that need strung still. This one was, there it is. This one was made by a Lyle Tweet in Tucson, Arizona, and it is mesquite, maple, walnut, and other. So, he made that, and then I don't know if Beads of Courage bought it or if he donated it, but I purchased it. So, and I know that when I got it, they had a few others too. So, but basically what these are is each bead stands for something. For instance, the clear ones are IV. Anytime that my son gets an IV, he gets a clear bead. The purple one is for when his feeding tube is changed out. There are, I think there's glow-in-the-dark ones for x-rays. The white hearts are for, I can tell you here in a minute. The white heart is for any time that he's had a dressing change. So with 6 brain surgeries, he's had lots of dressing changes. Obviously, I've not kept up on putting all of these in here. The cube heart is for any time that he had music therapy or art therapy, basically child life. But these ones are, this is one of my Beads of Courage. It was a bead of the month that I purchased. So we do have his string in here, which is really, really long. And you can tell the difference in the beads too. These are Beads of Hope, and starting with this one, these are Beads of Courage. So basically same concept, just different beads. There are a couple of beads on here that we have purchased. Not that one. This one, I believe, is his. Okay. But different beads that we have purchased as well. This one was when he got his Make-A-Wish. That one came from Beads of Courage. The 100 Bead Club, which I think we need to be counting and probably get the next one of those. So, and it's nice to see how some of the beads have changed over the year, because the pet therapy bead is now a paw print instead of a dog. These are wooden, and now they are plastic. They're a different plastic bead. I feel like these go on forever. They almost do. try not to splash out the beads that need connected yet. But this is just its own little story for each kid on what they've been through throughout the years or months or what have you. So that they can look back on it and know how strong they were. Now this right now is 7 years worth of beads for my son. Which is why I need to get him restrung because his birthday was in March. And then this is the very first tag that we got. And it was from the hospital that we're at now and says Hope beads. So they are basically the same thing. We still have all of these beads that need strung. However, like I said, that's a pretty daunting task to sit here for hours tying on string and then threading them through. You can't see them in here. The hospital gives a list too. Feel free to pause that and look at it if you would like. But they give a list too of what each of the colored beads stands for so that you can order your beads. Basically, we just reach out to Child Life. We fill out one of these each time for each day when I remember. And then they bring back a little baggie full of the beads. Sometimes they bring me string if I need it. And then we bring them home and we can string them and add them to his string. However, I'm going to not so gracefully put that back in here because it won't matter if it gets tangled, and I will show you why. But we did order one bead that is floating around on here somewhere from when we went on his wish trip. Because we went to Disney, we got a Disney bead. Some of these are just the tops off of some of the beads that we've gotten, like the 100 Bead Club, Courage bead. There were a few others, like his wish bead, things like that, that we ordered extra and we were able to get. Put that lid on. And I love it's got the little bead there. But, oops, put that in there. That's not going to fit in there. What we are going to do is I have, oh, we lost a bead. Put that in there. Okay. And I just, this tray has an inner one, and then the little brace that goes in there. Then you flip it over, and it's got its own little brace. Try to make sure that the inside there stays. Anyway, I have 2 of these. The other one is set up over here. What I've done is I've just taken my hot glue gun, and I've made a little plug because I needed something to fit in here. And so now I'm just going to kind of jam it in there. We'll see how that works when we pour it. Hopefully it'll work good. But what I'm planning on doing is I need a hole back here because I'm going to take this tray and attach it to the other tray that I'm going to make off to the side here. Let me grab that too. It'll be a little bit easier to explain. So anyway, we're going to take both of these trays and we're basically going to put them together. And we're going to make our own shadow box. Because it's such a deep tray, because it is as deep as what that wood framing is, I think it'll make a really good shadow box for the beads. So we will make the back side one color, the front side, which will be the one that I just had, will be clear. We might do color around the rim, but the flat part will be clear so you can see the beads. So I am going to get everything mixed up so that we can get started on this. Like I said, this is just my plug, so I've got an opening if this isn't full with these beads, and it might be, we can add more beads. But if this does happen to fill up, it's not a big deal. Obviously, I can just make another one. But then I'd like to be able to hang this in his room so he can see it himself. So anyway, that's what we're getting ready to do. So let me get my gloves on and get everything around, and we will come back and we will start this project. I'll see you soon. Hi everybody, welcome back. My children chose the color for the shadow box, and they chose this Renfio holographic glitter that I got from Temu. So it doesn't have a label on it, so I went ahead and kept it in the box. But I have that mixed up and poured. I did one tray clear, one tray in this glitter. I have it over here on my extra heat mat curing. While it's curing, I have taken the beads off of their rope or their string and their cord. And so we will get those put in once we get everything together and put those in there. And so I will be back soon for the demold and show you how we're going to put it all together, and then we can decorate it up. See you soon. Okay, so I've just demolded both of these. My little plug for the blue tray didn't work quite so well. So I used my little cutters here and was able to get it cut out. I will use my drill and get this edge all cleaned up. And then we will come back and we will move on to the next part of making this into a shadow box. I want to see, oh yeah, get those lined up. It's still a little bit soft, so we got a little bit of workability, and it leaves me the hole here to put everything in. Awesome. So hopefully we can get this one all done up, and then we can get our beads in. Let me get that edge cleaned up and we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I am back. I just took my little handheld drill and I put one of my little Dremel pieces in it. And because I didn't have a proper plug, I will make one for the next time I make this. I simply just sanded all of this so that it wasn't rough, no sharp points. It's not quite square, but it'll be fine. The next one, of course, will do a little bit better, but this one's just a trial one anyway to see how it goes. I just sanded it all off so there's no sharp points, nothing that's going to cut, because resin can get very sharp. So now because this piece was sitting here when I started, I am going to just clean up both pieces. I do have a couple of air bubbles in this one. Not quite sure what happened there because I was babysitting it, but I'm just going to clean out all of this in here, I want to clean this one up really well just to make sure that there is no dust left behind here to get in the way of our UV resin. So I'm going to soak my towel here real quick, get around this edge really, really good, because this is where we're going to be attaching the two. I am going to go all the way around this edge too, just to make sure that we have no dust or anything from fingerprints. Let me grab some gloves real quick. We don't have any sunshine today because it looks like it's going to rain. So I will need to use my big UV light for this. I am going to use the high viscosity just because I don't want it to move, and this formula this time seems to be really, really thick. So I'm going to put just a thin bead all the way around my edge here, and I'm going to use this one that's got the opening in it so that I don't accidentally get UV resin on the one that's not cut, because I don't really want it in that opening. Try to make sure I'm actually hitting the edge and not getting it off the edge there. Please excuse the children in the background. They're just waking up and getting their breakfast while their brother is asleep. They slept in a little bit today. I'm just doing just a real thin bead here, and I will most likely take my scribe and spread it out just to make sure that it's extra thin and it's not running down it, but I want to make sure that I've got a nice tight seal all the way around. A tight seal for this project isn't probably real important because there's not going to be any gaps the beads are big enough that none of them are going to fall through. It's not like I'm putting liquid in here. So move that out of my way so I don't accidentally bump that. But I still want it to make sure that there is enough here to hold the two pieces together, because they're a little on the heavy side. I'm just kind of making sure that that whole seam is nice and covered. And what's nice is that this is UV, so I don't have to worry about it curing. I don't have to be in a hurry. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything until I actually put some UV light on there. So get these corners real good. And I did kind of hit this one a little bit just to scratch it up some to this edge, to give it just a little bit of extra grip, to make sure that this UV had something to stick to. I should probably do that real quick with that one, and I'll walk through that with you guys, and then we can clean it back up. So that's got our UV on it. I'm not going to use that. I'm actually just going to use my little polishing block here, and just enough to take the shine away. So just a real quick, nothing fancy there. You don't have to get out all the big tools. You just want to scratch it up enough that it's got some grip. So that should be good, truthfully. Take my paper towel. And this is just 99% alcohol sprayed on my towel. Brings that shine right back. But we still have the scratches in there. And again, oops, knocked over my UV. We're just cleaning it up. Make sure there's no dust in there, because I don't want dust trapped in there that you can see. Alright, and then we're just going to take our clear one. We're going to tip it over and line it up the best we can. Make sure that we've got that seal all the way around. And because we left this clear, our UV light will actually penetrate that too. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a quick seal with my little handheld light here, and I'm going to shine through the clear for a few seconds all the way around, and we'll be hitting this with a bigger light. So I'm just kind of pressing it down, making sure there's no air gaps, and we got a good tight seal with that UV. Just a quick tack it kind of seal here through the inside, because we definitely don't want that tacky on the inside. Our beads will stick to it. Okay, and now I'm just going to go around the outside real quick too, just to make sure that we're hitting it from both sides here, even though it's a nice thin layer. This isn't going to cure it all the way. Like I said, I will be pulling out my resin rockers UV light to finish curing it, and I will put it probably 3 to 5 minutes each time, and because this whole thing won't fit in there, but I will do it enough, you know, I'll move it each time. So let me do that, and we will be back, and we will put the beads in. See you soon. Okay, I am back, and I have taken my UV, oops, a little dust, and got it all put together. As you can see, my hole's not the greatest. I didn't have a proper plug, so it's not completely square. Like I said, I will be making a plug if I make any more of these, just to make it a little neater. So we will start adding our beads. This is my bead of the month. It's obviously not going to fit. It's a little big. That's fine. I didn't want to put that in there anyway. I will save this to put some things in. This is the very first thing that my son got, and it was Beads of Hope for the very first one, or Hope Beads, I'm sorry. And they just put his first name on that, and that will fit in here. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in so that it's in there and we know where it's at. There are some specialty beads in here. I'm not exactly sure what this one means. Have to look that one up. This one was Child Life. And all of the bigger beads fit in here. Each one of these colored beads means something as well. So we're just going to kind of drop those in. I'm hoping all of these will fit. This is much fuller than what I thought it was. But it's kind of nice to be able to hang this on as well. I'll put some hangers on the back of it. Catch. We'll put some hangers on the back and be able to hang that on his wall, and he'll be able to look at that. I will be decorating up the front. I'm not exactly sure how I want to decorate it yet. So once I do that, I will get y'all some pictures for at the end of the video. So for now, all we're going to do is just drop all of these in this hole here in the back. And I did that so that if this isn't all the way full, which I don't know, it might be, we will be able to just continue to fill while it hangs on his wall. We can bring home the hand fuller so that we get every time and put right in there. The little bee one that just went in there. I don't know if y'all can see that now or not, but that one is, basically it just means that we had a poke plan for him to help get him through getting poked with a needle for blood draws, things like that. He's got a happy birthday one in here because he spent his birthday in the hospital. Truthfully, I think he spent all but one in the hospital. The dolphin here was first bath. That doesn't necessarily mean as a newborn first bath. That's like first bath after a surgery or PICU stay where they can't get a bath due to dressings and machine hookups, things like that. So I am just making a mess. So I will go ahead and I will get this filled up, and I will be back shortly and I'll show you what it looks like filled up, and then I will decide how we're going to decorate it and get you some still pictures. I will be back soon. Okay, we got pretty much everything from our container here into our shadow box. I'm not going to lean it all the way back or they'll fall out. I'm going to put our special bead back in here along with our list of what the beads mean, our cards for who made the container, and all of that. We're, like I said, we're still going to use that for some things. I do have some more beads too that are bigger that need to go in here that are put up somewhere else for right now. So I will need to grab those and put those in there because they won't fit in here. They probably would have if I would have made an opening even bigger, but I didn't really want them in here. These are just for the ones that he has earned. But anyway, we're pretty close to full in here already. I will block the hole here and tip it up so that y'all can see a little bit. Try to get it, let me move this so I can get the light from the camera out of the shot there so y'all can kind of see it a little bit. These beads are given free to the kids. I do know that Beads of Courage does have a website, so if you feel inclined, please go donate to them. They do this free of charge. They have a lot of the ceramic and glass beads that are in here. Hope Beads does a lot of the pony beads or plastic beads, and I believe a few of the wooden ones. So I don't know if they have a website, though. I haven't really checked that out. However, I do know that Beads of Courage does, and Beads of Courage is a nationwide nonprofit that gives out the beads. So if y'all feel so inclined, please go donate to them. It means an awful lot to the kids, just to be able to look back at their story, because every bead is a story. It's a poke, it's a procedure, it's a therapy, it's a good day, it's a bad day. We have a lot of green ones in here for ER and ambulance. We have a lot of purple ones for EEG. We have the surgical ones. We have, you know, the balloons for the birthday, things like that. He actually has one clear up here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that one actually says happy birthday on it. It's kind of hidden behind a couple other beads there. I don't know if I can get it to the top or not. It's here by the white heart bead. So, I mean, just like I said, every bead is a story. And by keeping the list in his container, he'll be able to look back and go, oh, that's what that bead means. And especially since we have 2 different kinds in here, just from being at different hospitals, because my son has had to visit multiple hospitals in order to get the treatment that he needed and deserved. So just different things like that. I hope that this small project gave you some ideas on some things that you can do with your trays. Obviously, I used a bit bigger tray than most people would have used. They probably would have used one about half the size, but I knew I needed a bigger one for the beads. In fact, this one's already almost too full, and I will probably have to make another one soon. But now I'm just going to try to decide how we're going to decorate the front, because I would like him to still be able to see the beads, but obviously I want it to potentially be pretty. We may just hang it like this for now as well, and that way when he's older, he can figure out how he wants to decorate the front, if he can tell me that at some point. But anyway, so that's how I made a shadow box out of 2 deep trays. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, and hopefully y'all enjoyed that one, and hopefully we will see you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.